almost everyone in America recognizes her. The crown, the torch, the giant green figure standing above New York Harbor. But the Statue of Liberty wasn't built in America. She was built thousands of miles away, then taken apart, packed into hundreds of crates, and shipped across the Atlantic. And even after she was ready, America had a problem. There wasn't enough money to finish the pedestal she needed to stand on. So how did a monument built in France become one of the most recognizable symbols of the United States? The story begins in France. French political thinker Édouard de La Boulaye promoted the idea of a monument celebrating liberty and the relationship between France and the United States. Sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi transformed that idea into something enormous. A colossal figure representing liberty. In her right hand, a torch. In her left, a tablet bearing the date, July 4th, 1776. But creating a statue this large presented an enormous engineering challenge. The project eventually involved engineer Gustave Eiffel, years before the Eiffel Tower made him famous. An internal iron structure helped support the statue's thin copper exterior while allowing it to respond to wind. Piece by piece, liberty began rising in France. By 1884, the statue was complete. But across the Atlantic, her pedestal wasn't. France was providing the statue. America was responsible for constructing the pedestal on Bedloe's Island in New York Harbor. But fundraising struggled. Construction slowed. Without enough money, America's future icon had nowhere to stand. Then, newspaper publisher Joseph Pulitzer turned to the public. Through the New York World, he encouraged ordinary Americans to contribute. Thousands responded. Many gave only small amounts. Together, those donations helped push the pedestal project toward completion. Now New York was getting ready, but liberty was still standing in France. And she was far too large to simply put aboard a ship. So workers took her apart. The Statue of Liberty was dismantled and packed into more than 200 crates. In 1885, the pieces crossed the Atlantic aboard the French ship Isère. When they arrived in New York, America didn't receive a giant statue standing proudly on a ship. It received an enormous puzzle. Workers had to put liberty back together. The internal framework rose first. Then the copper sections were returned to their positions. Slowly, the familiar figure appeared above New York Harbor. And on October 28, 1886, the Statue of Liberty was officially dedicated. But over the following decades, her meaning grew. Millions of immigrants arrived through New York Harbor, and for many, liberty became one of the great symbols associated with arriving in America. In 1903, a plaque bearing Emma Lazarus's poem, The New Colossus, was installed inside the pedestal, strengthening the statue's association with immigration and opportunity. Even Liberty's appearance changed. She wasn't originally green. Her exterior is copper. Over time, chemical reactions created the protective green patina that now makes her instantly recognizable. Today, the Statue of Liberty looks permanent, as though she has always belonged to New York Harbor. But getting her there required two countries, years of work, engineering, public fundraising, and an extraordinary journey across the Atlantic. France built her. Workers dismantled her. Hundreds of pieces crossed the ocean. America built the pedestal. And New York put the giant puzzle back together. More than a century later, the pieces are still standing there, torch raised above the harbor, as one of the most recognizable symbols of America. The Statue of Liberty,